Hello all! Welcome back to my channel, Math with Samira. If you are new in this channel and you like what we're sharing, please consider subscribing and be part of our community. If you haven't noticed, I have not been able to upload new videos for the last 3 months. It's because I was also having tough times myself. But I am way better now and I'm more inspired to connect with you again. But this time, I will be taking things slow. So for today, I will be sharing with you an interview I had with Laurence of The Successability podcast. And in that talk, we discussed about having a growth mindset. What is it like being a lifelong learner? And how are you going to find your flow so that you will remain productive and deliver better results? So I hope that you will enjoy this podcast and please provide your comments and suggestions below.
Educate yourself. Always strive for continuous learning and growth. Kasi pag dumating na yung opportunity na meron ka, na ibibigay sa'yo, kayang-kaya mong i-take advantage.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Successability podcast, a show that aims to inspire by bringing you a collection of success stories to help you soar higher. My name is Laurence and I'm your host. Our topic for today is about developing growth mindset. The reason why I think it's very relevant is because it helps you change the way you think and how you view the world around you. And having a growth mindset highlights the importance of continuous learning and believing that if you put enough effort, you will improve over time. We're going to talk about examples in a while, and to talk about this topic, I invited one of my mentors, Miss Jessie Quintilla. To formally introduce her, she is an Associate Director of AES International. She is a chartered member of the CIPD, the co-founder and managing director of Entrepreneur FZE and Penta Global HR Solutions. She is also the managing director of Vistaland Dubai and one of the advisors of the Filipino HR Practitioners Association. And that's all for the introduction. Please enjoy a conversation about growth mindset. Ma'am Jessie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Laurence, for inviting me. I'm so excited dito sa ating interview.
Ako din po, sobrang excited talaga ako dito sa interview natin. During our coaching sessions, I was always asking you if we can have an episode on our own.
Yes, exactly. And I think you're one of the people na I really enjoyed in terms dun sa ating coaching journey kasi you have so many insights. So sabi ko nga is parang may reverse coaching din tayong nangyayari kasi you've shared quite a lot of information na from there, we build on a certain discussion. So nakakatuwa na you're always hungry for learning. So I'm always willing to share as much as I can para at least mapunuan naman yung inyong mga curiosity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wow, grabe. Such kind words. Sige po. So, let's start with something light yet very close to your heart. So, you seem to have a fascination with cats. I believe you have 3 of them.
Yeah, actually I have 4. So I have pinakauna kong cat was si Angelo, and then a stray cat siya na inadapt namin kasi nag-move na yung family niya, yung naka-adapt sa kanya nag-move back sa UK. Then the second one was Shadow, yung itim, and then the third one was Bella, yung puti, and the last one is Kai, yung gray, yung Persian cat. Now si Angelo is umalis. Umiska po siya sa bahay, hindi na bumalik. So naiwan na lang ako sa 3. Oo, naglayas siya. Kasi maldita kasi ito si Bella. So baka hindi na niya kinayanan yung pagmamahadera ni Bella kaya umalis. Yun.
Pero I think Bella is out of the 4 or 3 of them, siya yung pinaka-celebrity.
Siya yung pinakamalapit sa akin kasi magkaugali kami. Kasi 'di ba sabi ko sa iyo lahat ng 3 cats namin they choose their owners. So si Bella chose me kasi halos magkapareho kami na ugali. Then Kai is para kay Ronald, and then si Shadow yung isa na very introvert is doon naman sa aking anak. So talagang
super interesting.
They really sabi nga nila it's either the owner will adapt to the personality of the cat or the cat will adapt to the personality of the owner. Ganun daw. So, di ba? Nakakagulat.
Ang cute naman nung ano na yun, nung interesting fact na yun, ma'am.
Oo, di ba? But I'll tell you the backstory bakit kami nagkaroon ng cats. Kasi I really don't like animals. I don't know how to take care of them. At takot ako kasi nga may phobia ako sa cats. The reason kaya ako nag-decide na kumuha kasi my daughter at the time, I think that was like 2 years ago, she was feeling very lonely. Wala siya nakakausap kasi kaming mag-asawa is very busy. Gabi na kami nakakauwi. And then pag weekend naman, sobrang busy sa advocacy. So Saturday lang talaga kami nagkakaroon ng chance. So nalulonely siya. So I've decided, you know what? I have to sacrifice my own nakagustuhan just for her. So later on, nung nagkaroon na ng pusa, it really helped me a lot. I used to be very aggressive, high energy, parang bugnutin, madaling magalit. But when we started having cats, sabi pala, nag-change pala talaga yung, nagiging calm na ako. Medyo kalmado na ako, I'm very reflective na sa mga ganun. O diba? May naitulong ang mga cats, guys, kaya kailangan mag-adapt na rin kayo.
Para sa listeners dyan, maybe you are considering na of getting a cat.
Exactly. Go na. Huwag na mag-isip.
And speaking of fascination, you also have great interest about books, Ma'am Jessie.
Yes.
If it's not cats that's flooding my newsfeed, it's actually the book that you are about to read or currently reading.
Currently reading. Ilan, may story na naman yan, Laurence. I really hate reading. All the time talaga, it's because I'm very extrovert. I would rather be speaking to people, makinig, manood ng TV o makinig, kesa naman magbasa ng books. And I've learned to love reading books. Kasi before, pag gusto ko magbasa ng book, mga after 4 pages, wala na, inaantok na ako niyan. Talagang kahit hindi ako antukin, as in, inaantok talaga ako. So, how I've come to love nung books, it was first the intention. The intention, di ba minsan may parang may FOMO ka, fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out,
so,
yes.
I was in a community of really highly intellectual people. At marami sa kanila, ang pinagdidiscuss nila, it's all about leadership, psychology, developing people. So parang sabi ko, ay, hindi man lang ako makapag-converse. Ay, hindi pwede. So I started reading those books. And then, the very first book talaga that I have read na I fell in love was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin. That's, my God, I always recommend that book. Para siyang pocketbook, hindi ko siya mababa. And since then, na-inspire ako. And then, I started reading muna, yung mga konti lang, yung mga very light read lang muna. And then, saka na siya nag-expand. And I made it to a point na ginawa ko na siyang goal. Nasabi ko na at least in a year, I could finish 12 books. And it was very surprising that this year, because of pandemic, we were given a lot of opportunity and a lot of time to actually look back kung ano ba yung pwede ko pang gawin. I've exhausted na yung YouTube and everything. What else? Nakapag-attend ako ng maraming webinar. And the book came in kasi doon ko na-enjoy yung, it's not just about the process of reading it, but the end goal of it. Na after nito matapos ko ang book, magkakaroon ako ng 2 or 3 insights. Kahit 2 lang, okay na ako. Tapos i-implement ko siya.
Yes,
kaagad.
the application.
Exactly.
The very
It's
important
the application.
part.
Exactly. And for me to cultivate that love of reading is I started sharing it with other people. Siyempre, nag-umpisa yan sa family ko, nag-umpisa yan sa mga friends, and then sa colleagues. So, ganun yung umpisa ng love ko for reading. So now, from my 12 in a year, I'm aspiring, I hope, I'm aspiring na at least makapag 20 books man lang ako this year.
So almost twice nung original number.
Yes. So inshallah, mabibigyan ng more time.
That's very interesting, Ma'am Jessie, kasi a while ago, sabi nyo, parang yung mga fascinations nyo is actually started na hindi naman talaga yun yung original na inclination nyo towards the subject, like yung cats and books. Pero eventually nag-lead dun sa you loving them.
True. Totoo yan. And I think it comes with, yun nga, yung parang, I wanted to continuously learn and develop. So, ang term ko dyan is, as you go through your journey of becoming, kasi hindi ka man, it's not an end goal eh. As you go through your journey of becoming, you should be able to learn the process of becoming. And one of the processes very important is the learning and growth. So may mga iba kasi, Lawrence, na who are very, very, they are hungry for knowledge. But then, pag na-acquire na nila yon at na-satisfy na, no, yung kanilang urge
Hunger
to, yung na-satisfy na, they move on too quickly. So they don't go back and reflect and say, right, from what I have learned, ano ba dito ang pinaka nag-change sa akin and what I can do from that learning so I can be better tomorrow. So yun yung normally ang instill ko sa mga others na once you read books, once you converse with people at may na-pick up kang insights that are very important, reflect on it right away and say, right, paano ko siya i-apply sa sarili kong buhay? And mas embedded kasi yung learning. And that's where you see your growth.
Actually, that's one of the things na nakuha ko po sa inyo, no, na you recommended when we were having our coaching sessions to have a journal and then read as much as I can. And then after reading, reflect on the things na nag-resonate sa akin. And yung exercise na yun is actually very helpful kasi first of all, it will develop your thinking, the way you think, the way you see the world. And then while you are thinking deeply, marirelate mo siya sa ibang aspects ng buhay mo eh. And then,
correct.
And then doon na darating yung paano ba siya may apply into the real world.
Correct. Yun. Tama yun. The other one that I think I've mentioned to you before as well is yung cognitive thinking, no? And
yes,
then we also
thinking
talk about
thinking.
The thinking about the thinking. And then we also talk about system 1 and system 2. So for those listeners who are not familiar with those type of methodology, it talks about the science of the brain as to how you process information. And from that information na meron ka, how do you apply that? And question that thinking. Na wait lang a moment, bakit ganito ang iniisip ko? What's driving that thinking, behind that thinking? So, medyo malalim siya, pero once you unravel that, pag na-unearth mo na yan, mas malalim, mas deeper yung iyong process of learning.
In relation to that, Ma'am Jessie, actually, the other day, the thing that I'm going to say is actually hindi ko siya nakuha sa book, pero ang masabi ko lang is good stories or a good book shouldn't just make you feel good, at the end. Shouldn't just make you feel good. Instead, it should prompt you to either change the way you're thinking or at least i-question man lang why you are thinking, the way you think bago mo siya mabasa.
Exactly. You've hit you've hit the nail right doon talaga sa kanyang head. Oh, yeah.
Kasi actually nakuha ko siya sa isang video game na parang it's a video game na parang everybody's seem to be hating on. Pero when I actually played it, sabi ko, actually ang ganda ng story kasi it's a type of story na can only be told via video game. And yung experience is parang sinira niya yung initial na parang assumptions, yung mga, sabi ko, bakit kaya hate na hate to ng mga tao? Pero na-realize ko na, baka naman kasi yung expectation ng mga tao is, they should just feel good. Pero actually, yung na yun is, itatry niyang baguhin yung yung perspective mo. So sabi ko, dapat pala, ang mga story is hindi ka lang ipapa-feel good. Dapat, itatry ka din na, maybe you should open up new perspectives. So, eto na yun, Eto na yun. Parang ganun. And, Ma'am Jessie, going back to about books, how did books help you in your journey?
Nako, ang laki. It made me a better person, actually. Ang mga books na I'm really inclined at the moment I gravitate towards is yung mga psychology type of books. And then, of course, yung leadership. Kasi it's something that I do every day. So sa work, I'm leading a team. Sa business, I'm leading a bigger team. Sa house, I'm leading the family. So it's not that because my husband is male, but I'm co-leading the family. And for me, yung lahat ng mga approach, decisions that I do in life comes from the wisdom na nakuha ko dun sa mga pagbabasa ko ng books. So don't get me wrong, not all the books na binabasa ko natatapos ko. No. There are some books na pag naka-chapter 2 and 3 pa lang ako, I don't see, I couldn't relate to it so much. So I post those books, lagay ko siya sa bookshelf ko, and then when time comes na parang gusto ko na ulit buksan, then babasahin ko ulit. So I don't put pressure on myself na kailangan matapos ko to kaagad-agad. So mapapansin mo minsan sa desk ko, I have 3 books. So I'm reading probably 1 chapter today with that particular book and then another chapter sa ibang book. So yun yung parang nakatulong sa akin. So for example, this time it's performance management, right? So you
Itong period na to.
quite a lot of appraisal discussions. Now, me as a leader, as a manager, it's very important for me na not only to look back on the things that my employee has done great, but at the same time to look at ano ba yung mga failure na pwede naming matutunan from there. So I need to have a conversation with my team wherein I will be able to discuss sensitive sensitive na topics na failure sila at that time, that they will still feel good about it. That the failure for them was just a process of learning.
Developing
So,
lessons learned from those
ganun talaga.
situations.
You learn from those. So for example, may mali. Then we go to the mali and say what happened, bakit nagkamali ito. We find out the root cause kasi kailangan nating from moving forward, we can rectify it. And then so ano natutunan mo doon? Ganun kaagad. So I use my coaching skills in having that conversation. It takes a lot of preparation. So if you as a manager, you don't equip yourself with those type of knowledge on how to have difficult conversations, how to inspire and ignite energy, yung mga ganong klase. And if you don't know how to do that, and then uupo ka sa appraisal meeting, that's the very important part of your employee's life. So kailangan equip ka ng skills and you're competent enough to have those conversations with them para yung iyong end purpose of them learning and then being energized to set up their goals for next year kasi they're moving forward, na-achieve mo. So marami akong mga books na about HR related, so how to have difficult conversations, how to receive and give feedback. One of the very important thing in there sa conversation is the growth mindset. Now, we keep on talking about growth mindset. It's not a buzzword po, mga kaibigan. It's real. Kailangan po natin yang isipin
Very
sa
real.
araw-araw. Exactly. It's really real. And kung ikaw as a manager, meron kang growth mindset, you look at failures differently. And you make your employees understand as well na you are safe. So even if you give them that psychological safety.
Psychological
even if you
safety,
make
yes.
mistake, exactly, that you can trust me that I will not pin you down for the mistake that you've done. Kasi
Or
you've
hindi sila
tried.
matithreatened na parang since nagkamali, baka tanggalin na ako. Kasi I think that's very common.
Ganun talaga ang fear. Kaya a lot of people tend to hide, di ba, yung kanilang mga mistakes kasi the fear of retribution or the fear of being penalized, yung mga ganun. Yes, you hold them accountable. You hold them accountable by making them understand the gravity of the issue, anong impact niyan sa business, and what it will cost you as an employee. But you always look forward. So the growth mindset again saying, right, what you've learned from it and how can you be better next time.
Wow, thank you. Very insightful naman yung na-share yung Ma'am Jessie, that how books really help you to become more competent and help you how you became a better leader sa inyong team
Exactly,
and
oo,
sa family,
tama.
more importantly.
Lalo na sa family kasi 'di ba medyo mas mo diyan, yung relationship mo medyo napakataas. So you don't want it na dahil lang sa gusto mong i-implement ang something or may gusto kang i-reprimand na masisira yung relationship. And I think big learning din sa akin yan sa relationship ko sa mga kaibigan ko. Before they always see me as someone who would react kaagad. So di ba depende reaction or are you going to react or are you going to respond? Parang ganun. So ako react talaga ako. So pag may ikukwento yan sa akin, ganun kaagad ako. And I become very very abrasive on things. So nung palagi na ako nagre-reflect na is this where I would want to be known for ba? And then I started changing. Na no, I should be more reflective. Instead of system 1 thinking, I need to do the system 2 thinking, which
Dapat may mga
requires
filters
more
ng ganun
energy.
before magsalita.
Exactly. Oo. So, it requires more energy, Lawrence, to use the system 2 thinking of your brain. Kasi,
Naturally lazy ang naturally
yes,
lazy
doon
ang
ka kaagad sa
brain.
mabilisang aksyon or mabilisang sagot. Pero as a system 2 talaga, hindi. Iisipin mo muna, parang wait a minute. Alam mo yung ganun, how would I respond to this type of stimulus na binigay sa akin?
And what other ways did you have taken in order for you to have that growth mindset?
I think pinakauna talaga is acceptance. I think yan ang pinakaunang step for any growth. Acceptance talaga na you meron kang failings, acceptance that may mga things ka na you're not really good at, acceptance na may mga things na may mga behavior ka na hindi naman talaga siya kaaya-aya, yung mga ganon.
Getting to know yourself well, your self-awareness. Yes. That's also something that I've talked about in my previous episode.
Exactly. Very important. Alam mo ba, Laurence, isa sa mga pinaka-successful leaders are the ones who've got very, very high EQ. And it comes with self-awareness muna. Ano ba ako as a human being? What are my characters and attributes? What are the values that I really value the most? Yung ganon. And then from there, nung na-accept ko na, oh my God, I'm not as great as I think I am. Yung mga ganun. Parang, oh my God.
Ang dami ko pa palang kailangan matutunan.
Diba? Oo. And remember, we talk about Dunning-Kruger effect, right?
Dunning-Kruger effect.
The more that you know, the more that you realize that there's a lot of things you didn't know.
Oh, yes.
Yung ganon. So, yun yung na-realize ko na nung nag-reflect back na ako, right? Kasi syempre, it also comes with maturity. Kasi when you're still younger kasi, medyo mas how do you call this one? Yung parang aggressive ka pa. Pero pag nag-mature ka na, parang mas naging mellow, mas naging, maybe because of experience as well, and then yung wisdom na nakukuha mo sa ibang mga nakakausap mo. So doon ako nag-umpisa na, okay, I have a lot of things that I need to change. And then from there, I then started looking, right, who can help me? And what else? Ano pang pwede kong gawin para ma-fill in ko yung gaps na yon na meron ako? And then second one was when I decided na, okay, these are the things that I'm not really good at. Nandun yung sinasabi ko sa'yo na consistent, considered, well-thought actions. Nasabi ko na, okay, gagawin ko na siya, but I need to make sure na consistently ko siyang ginagawa. And kaya ko siya sinasabi sa mga kaibigan ko or sa asawa ko para they can hold me accountable if at times, babalik ako dun sa aking pinaka-basement. Yung sa aking di ba? So, yun. And it's important that you will ask someone as your accountability partner.
Kasi pag ikaw lang, there will be times na parang you will tell yourself, okay lang, hindi ko na muna to gawin. I'll just do this tomorrow. Pero when you have someone as your accountability partner, may magre-remind sa'yo na, hoy, bawal yan.
Exactly.
Parang you should consistently do what you promised yourself.
Exactly. So, importante din yun. And when choosing an accountability partner, it is someone that you really trust and that you value the opinion. Kasi kung accountability partner mo tapos hindi mo naman vina-value ang opinion, so what's the use of it? Diba? Kahit pa maggangain sa'yo, parang sa'yo, kiber. Yung parang ganun.
For example, colleague na parang hindi mo naman talaga sobrang close and then inassign mo lang as accountability partner. Probably yung mga sasabihin niya, since hindi kayo ganun ka-close or hindi mo siya masyadong tinatrust, yung feedback niya is hindi masyadong valid para sa'yo.
Walang masyadong weight.
Walang masyadong weight.
Kasi you don't value their opinion.
Sige, Ma'am Jessie. So let's talk about how did you spend your weekends before and then now na you've developed that growth mindset? Ano yung difference?
So through time, no, ipagpalagay natin dun sa aking adult years. When I say adult years, nag-umpisa yan siguro sa 25 years old. Doon ako naging adult. From 25 until now, I have met several versions of Jessie.
Interesting.
So when my younger self, looking forward ako sa Thursday. Kasi saan ako rarampa? Yung mga gano'n. Saang club ako magpapakalasing?
Oh.
Yung may mga gano'n pa. Kasi I was young and I wanted to enjoy life. And it's
Mm-mm.
fine, at least naging na-enjoy ko yon. So when I look back and I said, yeah, I have done those. Then dumating yung version ko where I say I have to be very career driven. Na family comes second. So ang weekend ko niyan, kahit Friday yan, gagawa ko ng trabaho. Kasi career-driven ako eh. So, kailangan ko ma-promote, kailangan tuwas ang sweldo ko. So, mga ganon. And then, I come to a point where nag-umpisa na yung aking altruist na, na character. So, I started being involved sa non-profit organizations. So, si PhilHR plays a huge part in my development. Yung leadership skills ko, yung maturity ko. So, every Friday yan, busy-busy. Nandun kami sa consulate, kung saan-saan. And then dumating yung panahon na hindi na ako career-driven, and then nandyan pa rin yung aking community service, pero nag-venture na ako into business. So syempre, nabibisi na naman yung aking advocacy into turning your passion into profit. So yun naman ang nangyayari sa akin. So every Friday yan hanggang ngayon, it's still part of my rituals to actually advocate sa mga kapwa natin OFW. So through yung ating mga financial awareness seminar, and then things like this. For example, kung may, like tomorrow, I will have an interview with someone to share my experience. So mga ganun.
Ang interesting naman, Ma'am Jessie, nung when you said na you met different versions of yourself. I mean, just the way you said it, nakukuha lang yan sa true reflection yung mga ganyan.
Oo. Totoo yan. Kasi yun nga, yung kung babalikan mo siya palagi, parang, okay, ang layo na rin pala ng na-imove ko.
Makikita mo talaga yung segment sa life mo, no?
Oo. Kaya nga minsan pag may nakikita akong mga bata pa, for example, that they're still very immature and they make wrong decisions, they say, that's life. I've been through that. Sabi ko, ang dami kong naging maling decisions in life. And the good thing is that ngayon, it was never too late for me to learn it. So I always encourage, lalo na yung mga kabataan kagaya ninyo, to find someone, yung mentor talaga na who could help you, who could guide you through. Para at least, mas minimal yung mistake na magagawa nyo compared dun sa mga mistake na nagawa ko.
I can really attest to that, Ma'am Jessie, kasi having a mentor really saves you a lot of frustration and mistakes. Kasi
Totoo.
I believe na yes, it's parang you learn from your mistakes, pero why can't we save time from, having someone tell us that, hey, you're about to make a mistake?
Yes, exactly. Lalo na pag mga financial decisions yan, ha? Kasi
Yes,
syempre, very, very difficult yan pag nagkamali ka.
It can snowball to bigger na parang maling decision.
Problem, oo, correct. Totoo yun.
Since sabi niyo po, nakita niyo na parang you've met several versions of yourself, ano naman po yung challenges na na-encounter niyo when you were, maybe let's say, transitioning between those periods, or when you're trying to develop that growth mindset?
I couldn't recall na nagkaroon ako ng issue. Siguro nagkaroon lang ako ng doubt. So when I'm transitioning, for example, I say, I don't like this version of myself. I need to evolve into something better. Parang ganun, di ba? So then ida-doubt mo na, but it works well nung ganito ang version mo. Why not go back to it? Kasi yun na yung nakasanayan mo. Ang pinaka naging challenge ko lang doon is to make the commitment to change. So yun kasi, dahil you have to start building the habit eh. So you call out yourself. For example, sasabihin ko, okay, hindi na ako kaagad magre-react. Pag may sinabi sa akin na hindi ko nagustuhan, hindi na ako kaagad magre-react. Parang ganun. So yun yung commitment mo, right? The thing is that, dahil nga yun na yung natural tendency mo. Yes. So gaganong ka and then you just realize, oh my gosh, parang nagkamali ako dun na. Quickly realizing that hindi mo na nagawa yung commitment na sinasabi mo is very important. So ako is I immediately accept it and then I apologize. Na sinasabi ko palagi, right, I have given it more thought and ito na yung mas pinaka magandang sagot ko doon sa sitwasyon na pinag-usapan natin. So yun. So yung commitment.
And I think, especially if you are trying to change a part of yourself, ang isa sa challenge mo dyan is literally fighting against your old self.
Mm.
Sabi niyo nga po kanina yung meron ka kasing natural tendency eh. And since yung brain natin is naturally lazy, andun talaga yung tendency na mag-fall back ka doon and parang yun yung gawin mo immediately. Parang without anything.
Where is the easiest, di ba?
Oo, where it's the easiest. Kaya parang mahirap din na talagang i-develop yung sarili mo all at once. So, importanteng magkaroon ka ng, alam mo yun, kaunti-kaunti lang.
Exactly. Yun yung palagi kong yun yung palagi yung tip ko na conquering your goals. Yung kailangan small step ka. Kasi the same thing sa pagbabasa ng libro, kagaya kanina na you don't go immediately to a 1,000 pages na book. You start with 50 to 100, mga ganun lang muna. That's the same thing with deciding to evolve yourself into a much better version of you. Is that unti-unti mo siya, right? Alin ba particularly ang meron akong behavior na hindi ko siya acceptable na sa aking version ngayon na kailangan kong baguhin. And then once na-practice mo na at naging part na, inculcate na siya, naging part na siya of who you are, then you then look again, ano pa ba ang sunod ko pang babaguhin? And then, journaling it. It's very important to write it down because you can always go back and say, right, oh my God, these are all the changes I have done so far.
Lalo na pag tinitingnan mo siya, binabasa mo siya, ito pala yung thoughts ko at this time. And then makikita mo na ito pala yung, this is the way how I think before. Tapos ito na ako ngayon. Parang makikita mo talaga yung progress mo and yung growth mo.
Totoo yun. So journaling is very important.
It's super important. And in our previous conversations, you mentioned that you had a very different view about people who are not doing so well. Or people who are not as successful as you are.
Totoo. Kasi nga before, yung aking version nga is, parang, if I made it this far, there's no other reason why you can't. Ganun yung aking perception eh. So, the reason why you're still there, because you're lazy, hindi ka nag-invest para sa sarili mo dahil tamad ka, and then hindi ka naghahanap ng opportunity kasi tamad ka. So that's how I always see other people before.
Before yun, oo.
Oo, before yun. Now, it's because ang dami kong nakasalamuha and I've learned from other people's experiences eh. So when I talk to someone, natatanong ko, ano ang buhay mo? Tell me about your life. Bakit ka napunta dito? Ganyan. And then when you listen to their journey, makikita mo na, oh my God, they have done so much pala. They've really tried. But it's because, yung sinasabi nating luck, we talked about that a few days ago na it's because I don't believe in luck. I believe in preparation plus opportunity. So kung prepared ka and the opportunity comes, you can really take advantage of that. And yan yung other version ng luck. Kasi ang ibang tao, pag sinasabi na, no, you're just lucky, that means ang perception din, it was given to you. Yung parang,
oo. Iba yung perception nila dun sa word na lucky, oo.
Diba? Yung parang binigay lang sa'yo, wala ka namang ginawa. Whereas sa akin, ang version ko ng luck is preparation and opportunity. Once it's there, then that's the luck for you. So marami tayong mga nakikilala na they are really good, matalino,
equally talented, oo, sobrang hardworking din.
Nandun yung mga characteristics na nakikita mo na this person is a potential, it's a talent. Pero bakit nandyan lang siya? Kasi nga, hindi siya nabigyan ng opportunity na yon. So, it became then part of my advocacy to really bridging that para sa ating mga kapwa OFWs na educate yourself, always strive for continuous learning and growth. Kasi pag dumating na yung opportunity na meron ka, na ibibigay sa'yo, kayang-kaya mo i-take advantage.
That's very wonderful, Miss Jessie, kasi meron din akong mga nabasa about dyan. And yun talagang pinaka-takeaway dyan is, if you consider yourself lucky, then I think you should try to increase the luck of others. Di ba? Parang ang ganda ang isipin na, you know, bibigyan mo sila ng opportunities. Yung opportunities na sasabihin mo na this is something na you can utilize or take advantage of para maka-move forward ka din sa life.
Totoo. May pinost yung friend ko si Kat kanina yung about a candle doesn't loses its light, tama ba yung grammar ko? Bahala na kayo na mag-ano. Basta yung candle daw, hindi nawawala yung light by lighting another candle. And then sabi ko nga is, be the light for others. Kung ikaw ay meron namang resources and meron ka namang pwedeng ibigay sa ibang tao, give it to them. Para din, sabi ko nga palagi, we should all be victorious. Hindi pwedeng, kasi ang sobrang dami ng opportunity na binibigay ng universe, hindi po yan mauubos by just taking everything. Share it with others.
Pero the idea here is, going back dun sa topic ng luck, I believe na dadagdagan kasi yung luck mo eh. There are ways that you can take na madagdagan yung parang attribute ng pagiging lucky.
That's good. That's good karma. No? That's good karma.
Like for example, if you really try to go out there and meet a lot of people, if you exhaust your network talaga and alam mo yun, give value sa ibang tao, and then eventually babalik din yun sa'yo na parang isang araw babalik yun sa'yo and sasabihin mo na lang, oh, this is an opportunity. And that in itself, I think, is already being lucky.
Oo. Kasi parang you're magnifying the energy eh. I also believe in energy. So, ang iba niyan, pinagtatawanan ako kasi nagfo-feng shui daw ako. Sabi ko, no, it's not. It's about believing in energy. Na may mga energy kasi that surrounds you that you can harness. No, na pwede mo siyang gamitin and use that to your advantage. So, kung ang energy mo is, if you have that energy of luck and you vibrate that more kasi binibigay mo doon sa ibang tao, then mas malakas ang, we call it kasi meron tayong law of diminishing returns. Meron din tayong law of yung parang compounding. Diba? So, nagko-compound kasi yung energy na yan.
Ang ganda naman ng idea na yun na sa energy. And I believe mafe-feel mo kasi yun eh. Like for example, if you are meeting other people, mafe-feel mo instantly yung parang energy na gini-give off nila.
Correct. And you're just talking about energy of other people. One thing that I have learned as part of my maturity and growth is learning how to say no. Kasi before, pag sinabi mong no, parang, oh, I'm so bad. Parang
magigilty ka.
Diba? Yung ganon. Now, my mindset about saying no is that I'm saying yes to other things.
To something better.
Exactly. So, yun na pinipili ko yung mga energy na pwede kong ipapasok sa space ko. So, I have to protect that peace.
That is something na talaga natutunan ko kay Jonathan Yabot na yung mga commitments mo talaga is not equally important. So it's very important na pipiliin mo talaga yung mga yeses mo. Kasi a no to something else is a yes to something better.
Exactly. Correct. Totoo.
And another thing na nakuha ko po sa inyo, Ma'am Jessie, is about how to become more productive and time management and all those things. And isa doon talagang ginagamit ko is yung matrix that you've taught me. Yung Eisenhower matrix.
Urgency and important.
And something that I use every day.
Nagagamit mo siya. Very good. Diba? At least may naibigay pala ako sa iyo
Ang dami.
May naibigay pala ako useful. I'll tell you the story bakit ko siya ginagamit. First na encounter ko siya sa 7 Habits ni
highly
Stephen
effective
Covey.
people.
But before that, I'm so bad kasi kung makita mo yung aking disc profile, yung personality ko, I'm very extrovert. And the tendency with me kasi high yellow ako, 99% akong yellow is I'm a very good starter. Pagbigyan mo ako ng idea, talagang na-activate ko yan. Sige, start. Tapos, ang momentum yan, kasi mabilis akong mabore. Kasi nga, yun yung aking basement, no? Yung mabilis akong mabore. So, hindi ko siya natatapos. And then, may time span na multitasker ako. As in, talagang, kung titingnan mo yung aking computer, bukas-bukas lahat ang mga spreadsheets, mga systems, and everything. And what I have come to learn is, there's no such thing as multitasking. Because science, mag-talk na lang tayo ng brain power. Hindi talaga kaya ng brain na mag-process ng information ng ganun. We're not, kahit na computer, di ba, nag-give up. And napaka-super, superhuman na yan. So, hindi talaga siya kaya ng brain. Kaya pala sabi ko, kaya pala nung bata-bata pa ako, ang dami kong mali. Yes, ang dami kong na-deliver, pero ang dami ko ring mistakes, attention to details, for example, yung mga ganun, kasi hindi ako marunong mag-prioritize.
Ang dami mong mamimiss.
Oo, ang dami ko mamimiss. And I've come to that na sabi ko, okay, I will only do the important And then as much as possible, di ba naka-quadrant yun? As much as possible, what you don't want is you keep on postponing things that it becomes important and urgent. Dapat important lang siya, pero not urgent. Dapat ginagawa mo na siya. So what the tendency is, yung iyong important and urgent, kung mapapansin mo sa iyong quadrant, padami ng padami.
Oo.
Diba? Yung ganun. Eh, ang idea mo doon is dapat paliit yun. Hindi yun padami. Paliit lang dapat yun. So, it takes a lot of discipline to make sure na pag sinabi ko, so, on the planner that I have created for my team, nakalagay doon sa first page, top 3 that you must do today. Non-negotiable, it's a priority.
Imperative talaga. Oo.
Yes, and only then you will do your bottom 5, whatever that is, of the day pag natapos mo yung top 3. And that's where it helped them prioritizing. Nasa calendar ko, sa sobrang dami kong gagawin ngayon, alin ba talaga dito yung very, very critical? And it's not just about important and urgent. You also ask the question, how much value it will create for me and for my organization, or for me and for my business. Pag urgent siya at important siya, pero ang kaniyang value or impact is napakababa, then you move that down to your list. Hanapin mo yung pinakamalaki ang makreate na value para sa iyo.
Exactly. What I've come to know is that sa isang araw, actually, when you do, let's say, 1 or up to 3 things that are the most important, okay ka na. Even if hindi mo na gawin yung, let's say you have a to-do list na comprised of 10 items.
Yes.
Pero out of those 10, actually pag nagawa mo yung top 3, is okay ka na. Even if you don't do the other 7, even if you postpone the other 7 for tomorrow, okay ka na. Dapat yun yung mindset mo at the beginning of the day.
Exactly. And it helps as well, Laurence, in your motivation. So at the end of the day, I always train my team to be grateful. Kasi di ba may tendency tayo na if you go through the checklist, let's just say you have 10 checklists, 10 tasks to do today. And out of the 10 tasks, you've only completed 5. You feel so like, I'm not really productive.
50% diba? Productive lang.
Diba? Yung ganun. So you feel so demotivated. Uuwi ka ng bahay, parang ano ba naman yan? Parang ganun. So it doesn't make you feel good. Whereas kung meron ka lang top 3 that are very, very important, kahit pa yung 5 hindi mo magawa ngayon, you feel so accomplished. So you're motivated to wake up the next day to conquer kung ano na naman yung top 3 mo for tomorrow. Alam mo yung ganung feeling? There's a book that I have read. It's called Eat That Frog. I'm not sure if you've read that. So it's about conquering the most important things first. Kasi the other to-do list will just be very easy once makonquer. Imagine mo, meron kang 10 to-do list. Ang 3 is most important. Pero inuna mo yung 7. At the back of your brain, sinasabi yan, bilisan mo yan kasi tatapusin mo pa yung 3. Yung 3, importante yan. Pag hindi mo natapos ngayong araw, patay ka ngayon. Anong emotional strain ang ibibigay sa iyo niyan? Dahil nga di ba constantly nandun siya sa iyong subconscious.
Pressure ka talaga.
Oo. Ano yun? Nakakaubos ng energy yun.
Sobrang draining. And it's important that you finish the most important task in the beginning in relation to what you've said, Ma'am Jessie. Kasi yung energy level mo din is throughout the day, bumababa siya. So if you focus on the things na, alam mo yun, madali lang naman talaga. Pero it takes, kasi anything that you need to decide on takes processing power from your brain.
Yes.
And
yung
we all
prefrontal
know,
cortex mo yan.
And we all know na pag ginagamit natin yung brain, mas actually nakakapagod pa siya kaysa you're doing physical activity. So, dapat talaga unahin yung mga important na bagay at the beginning of the day.
I just wanted to add also, Laurence, yung sinabi mo kanina, kasi you also have to be very aware of your ano ba yung pinaka-peak energy mo where your brain is really at the highest, because that is your flow. And so if you are in your flow, madali mong magawa yung mga difficult na mga task. Kasi nasa flow ka. Dahil nandun yung iyong energy, nandun yung iyong concentration. Kasi may mga ibang tao na, for example sa akin, I always block sa calendar ko ng focus time.
Mm-mm.
And that focus time is just for me, deep thinking yan. Nakalagay yan sa, on top of my desk na, oo, di ba, brain at work. So alam na kagad ng mga colleagues ko na, okay, I'm not going to bother her kasi she's in her flow. So, ano kasi malaking tulong yan sa business, sa organization. Kasi ibig sabihin, I can contribute better because I am able to produce better because doon ako sa flow ko.
Thank you for those
Ayun.
wonderful tips, Ma'am Jessie. And since we are slowly closer to an end, if let's say more people are interested to talk to you or to reach you, your Facebook page and your YouTube, how will they find you?
Yes, parang akala mo celebrity, no? Parang influencer na influencer. Meron po akong, natatawa ako doon na, meron po akong YouTube na kinreate, I haven't recorded for quite a while now, pero meron po ako doon maraming mga materials that you can look. And then meron din ako sa Instagram and sa aking Facebook. Just type in at, tapos Mad with Samira. So that's MAD, WITH, and then SAMIRAH. Yun. Mad
Pero
with
yung
Samira.
mad with Samira is may meaning po yun. Hindi
Yes,
literally
yung mad
nagalit
po.
siya.
May double meaning po yung mad ko. It's making a difference.
Oh, wow.
Ayun.
Diba?
Diba?
Kasi baka isipin ng iba, oh, galit si Ma'am Samira.
Yeah, exactly. Palaging may question yan palagi. Bakit mad? Mad with Samira? Kasi I wanted to make a difference.
Ganda. Ang ganda actually nung meaning nung MAD. Kasi pag pinakinggan mo lang, oh, double meaning pala siya.
Oo. Exactly.
So, what will be your message for the listeners out there naman who are, just starting out with their journey, maybe into the adulting world or, in their careers? Ano pa yung gusto niyo sabihin sa kanila?
The same advice as I would give to my daughter. Sinasabi ko palagi is enjoy life, enjoy the process. Hindi mo dapat i-stress ang mga bagay na wala kang control. So, one of my pinaka natutunan ko during COVID is control what you can control. The things na hindi mo kontrolado niyan, huwag mo na siyang isipin, huwag mo siyang problemahin kasi wala kang magagawa dahil hindi mo siya control eh. And then second thing is make sure that you build relationships with people that matters to you. Yung be very careful with how are you going to surround yourself at sino dapat ang mga taong mag-i-influence sa'yo. So make that right choice kasi yan yung tutulong sa'yo kung ano ang magiging future mo. Then the other one as well is make sure that you invest. Hindi sa kung saan but invest in your development. Yung personal development talaga dapat continuous lifelong learner tayo dapat eh. So, kung meron kang dapat attend na seminar na would cost you, for example, 100, 200 dirhams and you know that you can get valuable insights, go, invest. Practice minimalism, yan ang ginagawa ko ngayon is part of my goal, yung practicing the shibui, yun yung sa Japanese. It's about remove yung mindset of consumerism because especially sa mga young ones who are not really earning a lot of money yet and you want to keep up with the other Joneses na mga mayayaman, you will end up in debt, which is hindi siya maganda. Pag tumanda ka na, mahihirapan ka ng itakal yan. So, reduce yung consumerism. Find what is most important to you in life. And dun ka mag-spend. Either you spend time, you spend money, or you spend resources. Pero doon sa alam mong importante sa'yo. Yung mga gamit, yung mga, Diyos ko, I've been there. Yung mga bags and mga shoes. Guys, di ba? Don't. And if you want to, kasi meron tayong mga, you only live once. I wanted to travel the world. Yeah, di ba? Yung mga, go travel the world, but make sure that you don't spend your life's savings. You use the money, hindi mo inutang sa credit card yung pag-travel the world mo. Diba? It's either you save it up and then mag-travel ka. And then find a way na kung saan ka makakapag-pay yourself first. Okay? Na kailangan na yung pag-i-enjoy mo sa buhay mo ngayon is na i-prepare mo rin yung iyong pagtanda. Kasi yun yung pinaka-importante, na you leave inheritance to your children's children. Ayan, nag-financial literacy. Pero yun yung turo ko talaga kasi I've made those mistakes when I was young kasi wala nakapagturo sa akin nun.
Sige po.
Ayun.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Jessie, for those sobrang valuable lessons talaga. And
Oo, thank
you know,
you.
whenever we have a conversation, sobrang mataas talaga yung energy level ko kasi you are one of the people na I really enjoy talking kasi sobrang dami kong natututunan. And pag nag-uusap tayo, parang laging ang taas ng energy, yung laging ganun.
Oo. May parang may spark ng something na
Oo,
parang, ay, okay, gusto kong pag-usapan yung topic na yan, yung gano'n. Exactly. So I've really admire, yung mga ginagawa to you and the other people that you surround with kasi napakabata nyo pa. And then this is what you've been doing. You wanted to share, 'di ba? You wanted to educate others, you wanted to make a contribution sa ating community. So well done to you and yung sa iyong mga mentors. And one thing nakita ko, nakasabi ko nga, 'di ba? I made one speech about when I saw you na pumasok sa training room and I say, that's a potential. Sabi ko na kasi, I can really see that spark in you na you could be a great leader. Kasi nandyan yung hunger, nandyan yung humility to be mentored, to ask questions, nandyan yung curiosity to know what's more. So malayo ang mararating mo. So congratulations sa iyong podcast, by the way.
thank you so much, Ma'am Jessie.
Yun.
Thank you. Maraming salamat
Thank
po.
you. Thank you.
And that's it for this episode. To all the listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot from this conversation. If you enjoyed it, please follow the podcast and don't forget to share it to your family and friends. If you have any feedback, please feel free to drop a comment or send me a message on Facebook at The Successability. See you in the next one. This is The Successability Podcast, reminding you to soar higher.